About 6 weeks after my Flat Earth book videos and articles started going viral, this character showed up on YouTube, making a series of well-presented Flat Earth Clues videos, uploading a new one every day. Next, he started getting several radio interviews per week, got his very own radio show, and even went on Coast to Coast AM, all in the name of exposing his Flat Earth clues. These clues, however, instead of revealing actual scientific evidence and experiments which prove the Earth to be flat, like myself and all genuine flat earthers do, Mark's clues are always merely his personal speculations. For example, Mark's first flat Earth clue is that Hollywood hasn't really made many movies about the moon landings, and this gives him a raging clue that Apollo was fake and the Earth is flat. His second clue was claiming with no evidence whatsoever that Freemason Admiral Byrd had reached the dome. The unfounded claims only got more ridiculous as Mark began doing radio interviews. Suddenly, he began saying that the moon and stars are not there, they are holographic projections, and recommending at least once per show that everyone must visit his fellow shill Crow 777's YouTube channel. I called Mark out on this, giving abundant evidence that the moon and stars are natural luminaries and not holographic projections, to which he responded only once, and did so not personally, but through another fellow shill, a Sensi. A Sensi relayed Mark's message, which said, "Of course I don't have evidence that everything in the sky is a projection of some kind. The look and opinion I'm taking is strictly from a video game design standpoint." And herein lies Mark's method of muddying the waters of truth and poisoning the flat Earth well. Everything he has to say on the flat Earth subject is based on his model, not science, evidence, experiments, proof, or reason, but rather what he thinks works best from a game design standpoint, because he used to be a video game designer. So he claims without evidence the celestial bodies are projections. He claims without evidence that Admiral Byrd reached the dome. He also claims without evidence that heat is not caused by the sun in his model, but by unknown processes underneath the flat Earth. He has claimed more than once that gravity is something we can prove obviously exists, when all genuine flat earthers know gravity does not exist, has never been proven, and is just density. He even recently introduced his own untested theory of molecular magnetism to explain gravity in his enclosed flat model. In interviews, Mark regularly lies about me, saying things like, "Eric thinks the moon is two-dimensional, while he thinks it's three-dimensional," when the truth is that I have always said the moon is a natural luminary, while he says it's a holographic projection. He claims Eric considers himself a flat Earth purist, another lie I've never said, nor do I even understand what a flat Earth purist is supposed to be. In one interview, Mark had the audacity to lie and claim that I purport that the flat Earth disk is constantly rising to account for gravity, when I have exposed in my articles and interviews repeatedly that this is a false flat Earth argument put forward by the controlled opposition Flat Earth Society, and that gravity doesn't even exist. In early interviews, Mark claimed to have read some of my book, but when cornered in later interviews, claimed to have not read my book. He constantly promotes the Orlando Ferguson concave Earth map as being one of the best flat Earth maps, when it is clearly one of the worst. He mentioned in one interview the suspicious fact that he worked in internet data mining for 3 years, and he constantly plays with a tiny globe front the camera in every interview, subconsciously reinforcing the globe model while talking nonsense about the flat Earth. Patricia Aiken even asked him during her interview to please stop doing this, and he agreed and promised to stop, but then in his very next interview, and many since then, has broken his promise and continued to play with this little ball Earth. In his interview with Dan Lefkowitz, after 50 minutes of speculative evidence from every ancient myth he's found, Dan asked, "Is there any other proof the Earth isn't spinning other than these ancient texts?" At which point Mark made the shilliest statement of his career, claiming, after a 5-second pause and long exhale, "If there was, I think we'd probably know it at this point. And nervously, annoyingly laughs as he does every time an interviewer asks him a straightforward question. Claiming to know of no evidence or proof that the Earth isn't spinning, other than the ancient texts, is ludicrous, disingenuous, and proves Mark has no business in the Flat Earth movement. In the same interview, he also lied that he's been trying to patch things up with Eric, when we haven't talked whatsoever. In his Ball Earth Skeptic interview, Mark came right out and said, "I'm not even that attached to the flat model. Everyone has their models with good and bad points. I have my model, Eric has his model, and even Lord Stephen Christ has his model, which is a lot better than the Ball Earth model. At this point, I'm just sure it's not a ball. Other than that is open to speculation." What kind of confidence does it instill in listeners when this supposed leader of the Flat Earth movement isn't even sure the Earth is flat?